Unmute.
Okay. And where do I start recording?
Recording. Click the red button, honey.
Okay, folks. This is a meeting we did last week, or actually 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week, and we went over some components. Components on Task 4, which we've already reviewed one time before. But there were a couple of things we're running into, so I want to go over that. So I want to go over to, okay, we talked about the professional competencies here. And let's see, I'm trying to get that up and then try to share, trying to find my share button.
Under your nail.
Finding my share button. Find my share button.
Okay, enlarge this.
Okay.
All right, now.
And find my share button. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. All the professional competencies, we've talked about, there are 21 of them, and y'all been beat over the head with this one many times. But you'll do all 21 competencies over a period of the 5 semesters 3 times. And you know that the relationship between your competencies and your internship and what you'll be doing there. And these are competencies that have been extrapolated from years of research, you know, it's known that strong leaders have to be able to delegate. They have to be able to communicate. They have to be able to resolve conflicting issues. These are just the three things that kind of stand out the most important to me. So you understand that the importance of this. Now here's what I want to get into about the 2 models. I keep running into this. You have to have a hands-on approach to each one of these competencies. Now, what do I mean by hands-on approach? Okay, I'm giving you 2 models here, okay? And the competency of conflict management. In a model 1, the candidate basically is an observer. They are asked by the principal to come in and sit and observe a conflict between a parent, a student, and the administration. And the candidate just simply serves as an observer, taking notes or something. And we're getting a lot of this, a lot of generalities about how you meet these competencies. Folks, that's not going to work. Okay, your evaluators and DPI is going to be looking how you directly was involved in a specific, in this example, a specific conflict. Model 2 is where this happens. The candidate themselves actually deals with the conflict between the parent and the student. The same scenario, but one's a hands-on, one's an observer. And you're going to have a hands-on approach with each one of these competencies. You're going to have to show, folks, you're going to have to show your evaluators how you've approached each one of these competencies with a direct approach. And I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this, but this semester you had 9 of them, okay? So you have to show how you have directly dealt with a conflict and all the other components you had. You have to have a hands-on approach to this. There's no other way. You can't give generalities. We can't give philosophies. We can't give the candidate observed, whatever. You're going to have to get your hands involved in there and show how you directly were involved with each of these competencies, okay? And you still run into this. So when I run into it, I'm going to give it back to you and ask you to find a time or give a scenario in which you had a direct hands-on involvement with this particular competency. And I'm getting ahead of myself, and that's exactly what I just talked about here. I do a training session on conflict resolution, and while it very seldom works out this way, you always want to strive for a win-win situation, and you want the conflicting parties to at least come away with a victory in some way or fashion. That's not always the case in some instances, but that's your goal. You can't use your authority solely as a reason for resolving conflicts. Your position as a principal or assistant principal gives you that authority, but folks, don't use your position as one um, uh, to overshadow a situation involving people. Um, One of the things I have found out over my career is when they see you not as an adversary, but as someone that's also, you are in the boat with them as it concerns this problem. You need to own the problem as much as the parent or the other party needs to own, whether it be a parent or a teacher or someone else. You've got to make them feel that this situation is as much yours as it is theirs, and that your goal is to resolve the situation in which all parties can feel like they've come away with some sort of victory. Now, this is not going to always be the case, but the goal is to strive for that. And I mentioned that the goal is to try to strive for that. And the thing about conflicts is you never want to build a wall between you and the person. You got to keep in mind too, they're already angry most of the time when they come in. So they're already on the defensive, and you need to take down those defenses by letting them know that you're on their team. You may have different perspectives of how you're going to approach this problem. Okay, now I know I'm off task here, but this is something that conflict is just something that's is easily resolved if you know the tools and you have the tools to resolve it. When your ego is on the table, you're going to lose. I'm telling you this. When your goal is to let them know that you're in charge and you're the one responsible for this and you're the one that's going to do this and bang, uh, that's not the best situation. Uh, and you really would like to have parties at least come out with some sort of feeling that, you know, Mr. Jones I may not agree with his decision, but I felt like he really cared about my kid. And that's the feeling you want to come out. That's the feeling you want to give in this situation to this parent. So keep that in mind as we move forward. Now, we've got summer coming up here very shortly. And we're going to get into the OMA, what we call the Organizational Management Analysis. This is a bugaboo. We've got 10 weeks to do this, and we're not going to, folks. We can't get behind here. Okay, we absolutely cannot get behind here. There's no. We've got to go into August with 603 behind us and nothing hanging looking over our shoulders, saying I've got to finish this part here. We can't do that, and we've done that in some cases, especially this semester. We can't do that this summer. Okay, we've got to stay on top of things, and that's the good thing is you're not teaching this summer. You should not be involved in you don't have the responsibility of going to class every day as far as teaching goes. And your school was empty. There's no kids there, so this is a good thing. So I'll just give you a breakdown. Now we're going to look from leadership to management, and this is what we're going to be talking about here. So we're going to switch hats here. We're going to talk about the internal workings of your school. We're going to look at the financial resources. We're going to look at the instructional process. We're going to look at scheduling process. We're going to look at how to mentor weak teachers, building teacher leadership, which you already know, which we've done this semester. We're going to look at the functions of teams. We're going to look at the federal, state, and district policies. on school improvement. We're going to look at communication, media, and formats. We're going to be looking at the legal requirements for exceptional learners. We're going to talk about those laws. And then we're going to weave through all this pattern elements of technology. So this is what's coming up. And we've got 10 weeks to do 16 weeks of work. So we're going to have to stay on task. Don't get behind. And I know you can be looking at taking a vacation. That's okay, but you're going to have to take us with you, okay? You have to have a working vacation. We really don't want you to get behind. May and June and July are really big months as we begin summer school. We can give you more time off in August before school starts, but with this coming session, 603, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Okay, so now I've made some suggestions. Stay on task, stay focused, keep up your APE writing. That's what you should be really good at by now. Keep in mind we got 10 weeks, not 16. Use all your resources. Use me, your coaches, your professors. Use your templates. You've got lots of resources. So basically, we've got our hands full. We've got a lot of work to do coming up. We still need to wrap up some loose ends on our 602 class. I'm expecting you to do that, but we're getting there. The thing that I'm most concerned about is repeating the same mistakes over again. And we should be at the stage now we should no longer have that. When I say mistakes, I'm talking about APA writing, I'm talking about documentation. We've got now a full year, almost a full year under our belt with 601 and 602. So I'm really expecting our writing to really be more up on board with following the APA writing department. You got my numbers. You need me, you call me, and I will be here. And we'll walk through this task together. Keep me in the loop. Hope everything goes well. Take care.
Just taking off the share. End the meeting, I guess. I don't see a button to stop recording. I guess.